Welcome back to the PCMR podcast, where we talk about movies, TV shows, video games, and comic books and other things that don't matter because nothing matters and we're all going to die one day. So let's just enjoy the things we enjoy, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shame here.
No.
Enjoy what you enjoy.
Indeed. I am your host, as always, Aiden Mungai, and I'm joined by my co-host, Brett Page.
Hello, I am the co-host.
Yes, you are the co-host. even though you probably do the majority of the work on this thing.
Hey, lately I've given you more of the work.
That's true. That's true. We've got it's a news episode this week. Got a bunch of news.
Yeah,
Going to be catching up on
free week.
Catching up on what's going on in the geekdom, the geekosphere.
See, well, we've just had like Comic-Con and D23, so it was a bit of a light news week. Well, news weeks because it's been about 3 weeks. There's 3 weeks worth of news, so
yeah,
not a lot of announcements. But we've accrued some things we'd like to have a little chat about.
A chit chat about, yes. Yeah. So let's chit chat. Let's start with some sad news. I think that's a good way. Let's get the sad news out of the way first.
We always do that. Get the sad news out of the way. Bring everyone down, just to bring you all back up with the.
Yeah, we'll bring you up over the next step. All right. So sad news. A stunt woman has apparently died on the set of Deadpool 2. Do we know the name of this stunt woman?
I don't remember her name, but I remember it was a black lady with dreadlocks, and she looked badass.
Oh, okay. Was
I don't
she
remember her name.
Playing like a henchman, or was she?
She was just like a stunt woman. She was like, I think she was like on a motorbike doing some stunt on a motorbike.
Oh, okay,
and
yeah.
she lost control of the motorbike and flew through the window of a shop, breaking the glass.
Jeez.
Yeah. So pretty. Apparently it was pretty graphic for everyone on set because everyone saw it happen. Because they were fucking filming it.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have a bunch of great camera angles on it. I mean, not that you'd want to have great camera angles on something so horrific.
But at the same time, though, for the next 3 days, the set was closed. They had to do investigations. So I guess the footage would have been good to use in the investigations.
That's true. That's true. You would have been able to use them in that.
Yeah, they shut down production for, I think it was like 2 or 3 days, but it wasn't very long, and they're back at it again, so it wasn't much of a delay. But sad news for everyone who worked with her. And
I wish I'd looked up like what other films and stuff she'd done, but stunt people are the backbone.
Yeah,
of,
she's probably
industry.
been in like a million things because stunt people they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're prolific.
They're like, there's a lot of them, but not a lot of them at the same time. So the ones that there are they get a lot of work because it is a dangerous job.
It is a dangerous job.
I think it was just in the article I was reading. I think it said like just last year. I think it was on the set of Arrow or one of those CW shows. A stuntman died.
Oh no!
Yeah,
that's not good.
It was just like a throwaway mention in the article, so I don't even know if I have the right show.
I mean, it's kind of what you're signing up for.
Yeah, exactly.
Like but
like very sad to happen, and it shouldn't have happened. But it's just like it is a. When you sign up to be a stunt person, you kind of know you're going to be doing death-defying acts.
Yeah, and sometimes you won't always get to defy.
Yeah, and that's why people like Ryan Reynolds are kind of like, don't think I want to do that because I don't think I am capable of doing that because to do it without hurting myself, I have to be a lot more skilled than I am. Not that he's not skilled.
No, there was, I think Michael Keaton was, when he was talking to Tom Holland about, like, Tom Holland was like, yeah, I'm going to do all my own stunts, I can do it, I can bloody do it. And Michael Keaton was like, by, like, the 3rd film, you'll be in your trailer for all of this shit. You won't be doing any of this. Like, you don't want to...
Yeah, we all respect someone who does their own stunts, but at the same time, they don't have to.
You don't.
Especially... I think Chadwick Boseman's done a lot of his own stunts, because I remember... in interviews with him saying like, oh yeah, I'm doing stunts inside this suit and it's huge. And apparently he has like a water cooling system inside the Black Panther suit to cool him down.
Same thing with the Vision, Paul Bettany. His whole suit is like filled with watering tubes.
Oh, yeah, speaking of Paul Bettany, I remember reading that he's confirmed he's going to be in Avengers 4, which not huge news because we all...
Good. I mean, I guess Vision doesn't die.
Yeah, Vision doesn't die in Infinity Wars.
So maybe...
But still, not huge news, because a lot of them are coming out lately saying that they're going to be in Avengers 4 as well, so...
That's good. That's good.
It's something that I remember reading.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, thought we'd get some sad news out of the way first. Let's get into some... I don't know if it's sad or happy news. It's interesting news. It's news. Daniel Craig has confirmed on Late Show, Stephen Colbert, that he will be returning for the next Bond film.
Yeah, which is the 25th Bond film.
Wow, 25 of them.
25 Bond films.
That's a lot of Bond films.
So I dare say this would be his last, because a lot of it
It's
was
probably going to be
expected.
his last, yeah.
So I hope it's like a really good one, just to give him a good send off, because he's been a good Bond. Some of
If
his
the-
films have been better. I feel like Skyfall was his best.
It's all the odd films, I think, are the good ones for him. So it's like Casino Royale, real good. Quantum of Solace, not so good. Skyfall, good. Spectre,
It was good.
not so great.
it was
So I think the next
good.
one will be, if the law of averages
The law of average.
plays out, next one should be pretty good.
Maybe he just
So,
wants to finish on a good one. You're like, pretty good, too bad. I feel like it's a good run.
Yeah, that's a good run. That's
So
a good
it
run.
will
in my mind.
be a while still that we'd be speculating on the next Bond, because y'all know there's a thing us
I
nerds
think-
love to do.
I remember he was talking about, I'd rather slit my wrist. I think that wasn't so much playing the character and making the film. I think he's perfectly fine with that. He's an actor. He loves making films. He's obviously gone on to do Logan Lucky, so it's not like he's dejected from the idea of playing characters and acting in films. It's
Yeah.
more all the advertisements and the press tours and stuff that come
Yeah,
with
see,
doing
'cause I
Bond.
feel like a lot of actors, they love being on set, they love acting.
Yeah.
But then, the other part of the job is doing interviews,
Going and
traveling around
sitting
the
in
world.
a small room and having 50 people come in and out and say, like, what's it like being Bond to you? And you just have to
Yeah.
go, it's great and it's
And
a
it's
real
the same
opportunity.
interview
Yeah.
over and over, the same questions. And
So
a
I
lot
went-
of the time, for big movies like Bond movies, they're on the road for like 3 months, going all around the world doing
Yeah.
press stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of press stuff, yeah.
I
Plus
would
all like
enjoy
the
it.
little like advertisements he'd have to do for like, you should buy this whatever Lexus or whatever car they've got that's sponsored by Bond these days.
Because I drive it and I'm James Bond.
Yeah. You should drink this beer because it's the beer that James Bond drinks. You should wear this watch because it's the watch that I think it's Omega is the watches he wears. It used to be Rolex, but then
I'm not buying any James Bond like brand watch unless it is an actual spy watch with like laser
Fair
beams
enough.
and grappling hooks.
they are ridiculously expensive. Those Marionette style watches, those Rolex and Omegas.
If they
Yeah.
had like laser beams and grappling hooks, I'd buy them.
Probably tear off your wrist if you had a grappling hook in there. I mean, maybe if it had like some piano wire.
If this is Aiden, this is movie world.
Oh, in movie world, yeah, obviously. I'd have
We're living in movie universe where
obviously
people
I'd have
don't
a
get
spy
injured.
watch if it was movie world on the Gold Coast.
on the Gold Coast. Oh, that's a joke for all you Australians out there.
Yeah,
It's probably our whole audience, 6 of our friends.
all 6 of you. Moving on. Cable and Domino.
Yeah.
They're 2 characters that are going to be in the next Deadpool movie. We were talking about Deadpool just before.
Yeah.
We've seen some photos. Some photos were press
costume.
release photos plus some set photos have been released of what Cable and Domino are going to look like. I believe Domino's being played by Zazie Beetz.
Yeah. Have you seen her in anything?
She was in Atlanta.
There.
Yeah.
I knew her.
She was in Atlanta.
What do you think of her look?
I like it. I was wondering what they were going to do because they cast her as Domino, and Domino is usually traditionally like a very kind of like pale, stark white, kind of like Harley Quinn.
They've given her like a big afro, which I like.
Yeah, it's kind of fun, and I like what they've done with in the comics. Like Domino's like white face and then like a black outline. It's like like a domino kind of thing. But here they've kind of made it like there's I don't know. It's like that skin condition where like you have like black and white and like patches, kind of like a cow. Is that? I'm not sure if that's offensive, but yeah, it's the only thing I can think to compare it to. But yeah, they've got that around the eye, which I think is it's a nice kind of way to. Oh yeah. I don't know how else
Fits
they
with
would.
the theme of her name, Domino.
Yeah, I don't know how else they would have done it. I know some people are kind of like pissy about it, but yeah, whatever,
Oh,
you know.
people are going to be angry. If you cast a white character as a black actor, people are going to be angry. Cast a black character as a white, no one's going to care.
Yeah, it's
Let's be real. If we take a black character from the comics and put a white person in, all white people are like, yeah, I love it.
I don't think they will be.
Not all of them, but
I just think those
the racist ones.
those 1,000 people in Charlottesville.
Yeah.
Hashtag topical.
Let's not get political.
Let's not get
here.
political
We
now.
try not to. We fail, but we try.
Oh, remember when Trump got elected? Fun times.
Yeah, we were
That
meant to
sure-
be talking about PAX, but we're like,
that
well,
sure
fuck it,
did-
Trump.
Sure did make PAX interesting.
We could almost make a full political podcast.
We could. I've been thinking about it, but that's an off off mic talk.
That's off mic
That's
talk.
off mic talk. Yeah, I like the look of her. She looks pretty fun. I probably would have liked sleeves, but that's just me, you know.
You like sleeves, don't you?
I don't want people to be cold.
I remember you saying you like when Arrow has sleeves.
Yeah, I like the new sleeves. I didn't mind the sleeveless look, but after like he was getting shot at a lot, it's kind of like you might need some Kevlar in that.
Yeah,
'cause people could shoot you right in that elbow joint. So it's nice to him to have some sleeves.
Yeah,
there.
I mean,
especially since he's filming in Canada, and especially
It's
at
cold in
night,
Canada.
it's real cold. They film a lot at like 1 a.m. in Canada. Fuck, it'd be cold.
yeah, fuck that. Fuck the Canada nights.
No.
I think he actually said the main reason they gave him sleeves because he complained about how cold it was.
Yeah,
I
and
remember
it's-
him saying it in an interview.
And that's fair enough. Like it was good for a season, and it looked pretty cool.
But it is a fair complaint.
And the new costume, it fit with like the theme. It was they just added like some sleeve parts to it. So, yeah. Cable.
Cable, yeah.
What do you think of Cable? What do you know about Cable? You used to read the X-Men comics. Ever read any?
I was about to say, this is about to get complicated.
Yeah.
Okay, he is the son of Scott Summers and Jean Grey.
Correct.
He is from the future, and he
Correct.
traveled to the past. Why did he travel to the past? I can't remember.
I think it was something to do with Apocalypse or...
Yeah, for some reason he traveled to the past, and he's got like robot arms and shit.
Yeah, do you know what the robot arm is about? Do you know...
Not really. I don't know an awful
Okay,
lot about
so-
it. I just know his basic origin.
All right, so here's... I'll tap in. I have some knowledge here. He has a techno-virus that's kind of eating away
Like clubbing
at
and pingers. Technovirus!
Sure. It's yeah, he has a rave climbing up his arm, and he's supposed to be one of the most like powerful like telekinetic kind of people in the world, but he's using most of his ability to keep the technovirus at arm's length.
But
This is, yeah.
so the technovirus basically turns you into a robot?
Yeah, it kind of like takes you over and you become like a Terminator-y kind of thing, but he's like keeping it at bay. It's just in his arm now.
Yeah. And despite his look, he's a good guy, like 100% good guy. He's never really had.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's edgy. Like he's
he's edgy. He's
you know,
definitely
he's
edgy.
created by Rob Liefeld. He's from the 90s. Hit a lot of pouches, you know.
Yeah,
So-
he's definitely an edgy, but he's never been on like bad side.
not really. He's mostly, you know, he's the son of two.
He does
like-
a lot of team ups with Deadpool
yeah, he's a lot of team ups with
because
Deadpool.
he was in the X-Force with.
He was in X-Force with Deadpool. There was a long run where it was Cable and Deadpool. Deadpool teams up with a lot of people in the Marvel universe, but
Spider-Man is another
Cable-
popular
yeah,
team up.
there was a recent one that I haven't finished the run for that yet, but I enjoyed what I read. So
You read some of Gwenpool, didn't you?
I've read one or two issues. I don't know a lot about it.
Yeah, all I know is Gwen Stacy in it.
Yeah, it's just like
That's all I know.
they've
Just the
done that
basic
for like
gist.
now she's Spider-Man, now she's Deadpool. It's like okay, I think they're both like alternate universe kind of things.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
all those have to be.
I stick to the 616. I don't.
Yeah,
It's too much
too
trouble
much.
trying to keep up with all these different universes. Like I've decided like, hey, movies and
see, I just
the main
with my comic book
universe.
reading, I pick good events and stuff to read. So
Yeah,
I read
that's-
like Planet Hulk and World War Hulk because it was very stuff that you could stand alone read.
That's a good rule to follow to kind of
And
get
like-
the good runs. But
Yeah.
anyway, Cable. I
Back to the point.
think they could have made the arm look a bit more kind of like organic-y, techno-y looking because. I don't know. It looks a bit too much like it was like put onto his body. I don't know if they're going to do the techno-virus thing. I don't know if that's.
But I
like,
say maybe they're not doing the technovirus because they're very comic booky. I mean, it is Deadpool, and they'll do silly stuff because it's
they could do it. It's not the hardest thing to explain, but it might not be completely pertinent to this story that they want to tell. So
Yeah.
who knows exactly what's gonna happen? But I like his look. I like his giant gun.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous and very comic booky looking. He's not as broad shouldered as he is in the comics, but you know he looks like a regular Josh Brolin, which is fine.
yeah. Well, he looks like a badass dude.
It does look pretty badass. You know, and I'm pretty sure. I think the arm is it the other side to Winter Soldier? Is it like opposite side or is it the same side? I can't remember. I think it might be the same side. Anyway,
I think it might be the same side.
Anyway, it looks different enough to not people to not be like, why is Josh Brolin the Winter Soldier? It's like, no. Completely different.
The difference is like, freaking Cable very much looks like more robot-y, whereas the Winter Soldier, at least in the movies, just looks like metal. It just looks like metal. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm explaining it that well, but
no, but he looks like a buff emo with a metal arm, as opposed to Josh Brolin, as Tumblr would call him, looks pretty daddy. He's daddy as fuck.
Oh, you've been spending too much time with Alicia.
No such thing. Anyway.
Well, she's your girlfriend and you sleep in a bed together, so...
I hear a lot of things. Geneva Robertson Dworet.
That's exactly what I did last night when I tried to read it.
Why rereading that name, Brett? What's so special about Geneva Robertson Dworet?
I didn't write the next half of it. She's been cast... Well, not cast, but she's a writer on
She's been hired.
She's been hired to write on Captain Marvel.
Yes, she will be writing the script for Captain Marvel. They did have 2 people writing the script before, but one of them has had to step aside to direct like a Disney animated thing that's coming up, Gigantic. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
Maybe.
Yeah, pretty sure that's what it is. So they've had to step away, and so she's come in. She's written the upcoming Tomb Raider movie, the reboot of that's coming out. There was a couple of set photos that came out. It looks pretty good. I mean, they've got Alicia Vikander as Lara Croft.
She's also a writer on Gotham City Sirens, which is
yeah.
And she hasn't done a lot. So
no, it seems like this
new.
is these next couple of years. These are her years. Like these are her like, hey,
like
prove
her
herself.
IMDb is very bare. Like, it doesn't even really have much information about who she is.
No, and it seems to be all properties. None of them are like original ideas.
She's a pretty young lady.
Oh, I haven't seen any
No,
pictures
I'm
of her.
Googling her right now.
Okay, I couldn't find any pictures of her. So she didn't have one on her IMDb, so I didn't know what she looked like.
Pass this over to you and you can have a look.
Dude, that's just Brie Larson. That's just Brie Larson.
I only saw it in the small thumbnail. I clicked on it, then I passed it to you. That is Brie Larson. It was like a small thumbnail that I saw, and I'm like, okay, that's her. Then I clicked on it, I'm like, oh.
No.
I clicked on it, then I passed it to you, and you saw the big one.
All right, we don't know who this. She's a mystery. I wonder where she came from. Because she's popped out of nowhere.
Where did she come from, Cotton Eye Show?
Where did she come from? Geneva Robertson Dworet? But no, like she's Tomb Raider. I think she's doing like Sherlock Holmes 3 was listed on her IMDb. Gotham City Sirens, Captain Marvel. That's 4 like big tentpole studio projects for someone who has
like Marvel,
apparently no credits.
Yeah, well, things like Marvel and DC lately, they've liked hiring like newcomers.
But usually they let like the newcomer make like some kind of indie film thing first. Like the guy who directed Spider-Man Homecoming, he did like a film called Cop Car. Trevor, what's his name? Colin Trevorrow. He did Safety Not Guaranteed before he got Jurassic World. The guy who did Godzilla, he did like a small kind of like monster movie before he got Godzilla. A lot of these people, they get like they make like a small kind of indie film, small budget, some maybe known actors in it.
Yeah.
So it's a surprise for like nothing complete. Like, is that the next thing? People who we've never heard of getting in there, which is fine for me. You know, cool. Get more female voices in there. Get more interesting voices in there. I'm all for that. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
Having mic stand problems.
I think we'll probably see Tomb Raider before we see like anything else from like Captain Marvel. So we'll have to keep an eye out to see that one to kind of gauge how good this Geneva is at constructing a story with a well-known, already established character.
Well, she's writing for 2 pretty, properties that have big fan bases like Captain Marvel and Tomb Raider, so...
And she's doing Gotham City Sirens.
Yeah,
so
people have faith in her.
I guess so. She must be impressing some people.
Maybe one day we'll see her face.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe one day she'll get a picture on IMDb. All right. Moving on.
I feel like if I was like a writer or actor or someone, I'd go to my own IMDb and fill it out.
Oh yeah, I would absolutely do that. I don't know if that's like you're not allowed to do it yourself. You have to get someone else to. But if I would,
I don't think that would be a rule.
I feel like that's a rule in Wikipedia. You're not allowed to fill out your own one.
Yeah, you are.
You know,
Anyone can. They don't know who you are.
I don't know. I feel like I've heard that somewhere before. Like you can't fill out your own one.
It's like anyone can edit any Wikipedia post. Anyone.
Okay. I'm sure I heard that somewhere, but never mind. Moving on, let's talk about, speaking of the kind of crossover between nobodies and directors, the internet and outside of the internet and real directors. There's been a bit of a clash.
Oh, yes. A confrontation.
A confrontation, if you will, of a war of Twitter words, some tweets.
Yeah.
Some throwdown happened between the director of Kong Skull Island, whose name is also another Geneva Robertson Dwert kind of name. What is it? It's Jordan Vogt Roberts. It's like VOGT. That's easier. Vogt is Vogt. Vogt? Yeah. Jordan Vogt Roberts, director of Kong Skull Island, has put some smack talk down on CinemaSins after they released their Kong Skull Island review. Now, I like a CinemaSins, but I do admit they have got a little self-indulgent recently with their 20-minute videos.
Yeah,
like it used to be
longer.
Like there's no reason why a movie like The Room gets like an 8-minute video.
No.
And Kong Skull Island gets 20 minutes. That's ridiculous.
I feel like that's just when they started. They were only doing shorter videos, but the more popularity they've gotten, they're like, oh, make it longer. Get that ad revenue.
Yeah, but I don't know. It does seem excessive, and I can understand. Like, he does make a lot of good points. Did you read the Twitter rant that he did? I'll see if I can find it. I won't read all of it, but I'll try and see if I can get some.
See, I didn't read it because I knew that you had, and I was like, yeah, well, he'll tell me about it.
Yeah. John. Okay, I'll try and find his Twitter. All right, yeah, I think his first one was all right. Our CinemaSins video is out. What Rian said is how I feel. Rian Johnson. He was director of Looper. I think he's also doing a Star Wars film. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. These videos are now the length of TV pilots where people tell actual stories. And that's like a point if you're thinking about a Rick and Morty episode, which he does make a comparison to think about how much Rick and Morty can make you feel in 23 minutes. And then you look at a CinemaSins video being 20 minutes long. It's makes you feel nothing. It's just empty kind of snarky, snarky, snark. And it's oh yeah, that's actually a really valid point. So he does some people are coming after him and it's oh, what do you don't need to watch it? What are you being so butthurt about? But he makes some valid points here. At
the same time, though, freedom of speech.
He's not saying
this guy is allowed to have the criticisms, but at the same time, there's no rule that says CinemaSins isn't allowed to make the videos that they want to make. Because if you're putting art out into the world, you have to be aware as you put it out that
again,
it is
he's not
open
saying
to criticism.
he's not against criticism. It's things like Mystery Science Theater build something artful, endearing, and comedic on top of foundation of other people's works. It had merit to itself. Things like CinemaSins simply suck the lifeblood of other people and are often just wrong about intent or how cinema works. It's terrible.
See, I don't agree with that part. That I feel like the guys that run CinemaSins are people who do like movies, like us. But at the same time, we love movies, but we can sit there for hours and we could pick them apart.
We could, but I feel like because of the conventions of the series that they've made, the CinemaSins thing, they're always being negative, and because of that, they tend to it's a new video, it's the new thing that's on home release, we have to do a video about it. Even if it's not something they want to see or what people want them to see a video do, it's just them we have to make content, and so there's no edit to what they used to do. With The Room, it was an 8-minute video. It was all the best jokes. They condensed it down. It was funny, and they had like its own kind of like style and artfulness to it. These days, I don't know, especially this Kong Skull Island one. I didn't get very far through it because it was just kind of a lot of this. That's not a sin. You're just complaining about nothing now.
Well, let's be fair. There were sins, quotation marks, in that movie. There was a lot of poor storytelling and weird character motivations and decisions in that film.
Yeah. All right. I love film criticism and I love reading negative reviews if the author makes compelling and well-written arguments. So he's not above saying like, "Hey, your film was weird for these points." He's like, "Well, this is fair enough." So, to anyone who thinks this video makes me mad or hurts me, it doesn't. I just want to point out a few obvious examples that are just wrong. And he goes on to point out a few things like there was a match cut they did that they were like, they sinned it for like, "Oh, why didn't you just show Kong eating the person?" It was like, because I wanted to do something different. What? That's not a sin just because I did something different? Or there was another thing that was like, "Oh, this character is doing this." And it's like, that's not even the character that you named. It's this other character. So he does point out a few things where like they're just wrong. They're not really sins. They're just like being nitpicky and not paying attention to the film. And yeah, then Cinema Sins had the response like, "Hey everyone, I stepped away from the computer for a few hours to run errands and stuff. Did I miss anything?" So that's pretty funny. But yeah, I tend to side with the Kong Skull Island director on this, just because a lot of the points he makes are well thought out. They're well reasoned. He's not saying all criticisms of his film are wrong. He's not saying like his film is above criticism. He's just saying this particular thing really annoyed him.
Well, there are things like that that are good points. Same time, like Cinema Sins, he started out with those shorter videos and he built an audience. And obviously, you have to capitalize on that. If you start to build an audience, you capitalize on it. So obviously he's made decisions throughout his career that I'm going to make videos longer. That's going to help me get more money because watch time is a very big thing on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
You want more watch time because that means more ad revenue. And the more watch time you have, the more the algorithm favors you and suggests you to other people. It's a big thing. I've looked into it a bit, but it's a big, complicated thing. So, yeah, maybe there is some things wrong with it, but at the same time, it's just like, it's not worth getting worked up over, I don't think.
I'm not worked up.
It's not hurting anyone. It's not hurting anyone.
It is adding this kind of like attitude of like making everyone think like, "Oh, well, it was smarter than this film. This is wrong," and blah, 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 blah. It's like, you should be able to just watch a film and experience it and enjoy it. And I think nitpicking for nitpicking's sake is kind of redundant. And I feel like we should be talking a little bit more about why things are good and less why things are bad. But that's just me. I love
how I'm the one defending CinemaSins more, yet you're the one who actually watches them more than me.
True. I like
the tables have turned.
I like honest trailers more than CinemaSins
because they honest trailers more.
They get in, they get out. They've got that cool
they're
voiceover
silly and
guy.
they're fun.
Yeah, they're like.
And they're not. And they're definitely not always bad.
No, and they have had like a few opportunities to bring in like directors film. Like they brought in the directors of Winter Soldier to watch their honest trailers thing and like rebuttal. So they, and they're also
Ryan Reynolds came in and did the Deadpool one with them.
That's true. Like they're not always like they haven't geared their videos to always be negative. It's just like we're just being honest. So they can be like really positive for a film, or they can be really negative for a film, or they can be very middle of the road. So they're not like. I feel like they have more room to talk about films in a more kind of like interesting way than a CinemaSins, where it's like, hey, we're looking at sins, we're looking at all the negative things, blah. That's always you've already limited yourself.
That's kind of always been their thing, though. So
yeah,
if you get into a CinemaSins video, you kind of know what you're in for. Like, I wouldn't watch a CinemaSins video and be like, I don't like that. All they said were bad things. Like, it was in the title.
Yeah, I'm just saying they've limited themselves. Yeah. That's what
from the get-go they have, so...
I think
not
they
new
could...
information.
Yeah,
that's their thing.
They could stand
like
to refocus some of their... Like, at least make their videos shorter. Like, I think the point I agree the most with there is that, like, 20 minutes... It's too fucking long. That's an actual episode of television. I could actually be watching like a Rick and Morty and experiencing like an actual story and seeing like a beginning, middle, and end of a thing instead of just someone nitpicking a film for 20 minutes.
Anyway, I don't care that much about this debate. Let's move on.
Fair enough.
It's a non-thing for me. Like, I really don't give a shit.
I've been telling. I could tell that like I've been more invested in this kind of like this is an interesting discussion. I want to talk about this, and you've been like, I don't care.
Like,
That's fair. That's
like,
fine. Let's move
I
on.
have my opinions, but at the same time, it doesn't matter to me that much.
Yeah. Mission Impossible.
Number 6?
Number 6. What was the last Mission Impossible film you saw? Have you seen any of these?
Nope.
Oh, you're missing out. They're good time. You need to. There are so many like franchises like the Fast and Furiouses and the Mission Impossibles of the world that I feel like you're missing out on just a good time here, Brett. It's like there's massive like car chases and explosions and planes doing crazy things. Tom Cruise hanging off the side of a building in Dubai. You're missing out. Missing out on a good time here.
Yeah, but I'm a busy guy, and I got a lot of games to play. And a lot of shows to watch.
No. Chuck all that shit away. We're gonna watch some Dude Bro movies, man. Get your Dude Bro on.
I'll get there.
Yeah. Anyway,
I never said no.
Well, if I had to recommend some, probably the first one. Skip the second one. Actually, you can skim through the first one. Third one, fourth one, fifth one. It's kind of like Fast and Furious, where like the first couple you can skip through, then they get better later. It's like like an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of thing. Like skip the first couple of 10 episodes, then it gets good.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about Mission Impossible because Tom Cruise hurt himself and it got delayed, and I didn't write much more than that in the points, and we wrote this yesterday, so I don't remember what else.
Right,
Say what you will, we're honest.
do you want to do a pause? I'll look it up. Now we're back, yeah. Mission Impossible 6 will halt production in London for between 6 weeks to 3 months to give Tom Cruise time to recover from an onset injury. According to 4 people with knowledge of the situation, the actor hurt himself doing stunt work for the film last weekend. Cruise broke his ankle. Paramount confirmed. It may have also hurt his hip. One individual close to production said he was scheduled to see his doctor this week, said sources close to the production. Oh, Jesus Christ, this article is written so terribly. If I want to go off on a tangent here, I feel like there needs to be more editors at websites actually reading these articles. I know people want to get that breaking news story. They want to get it written out and get it out as fast as they can. But so many times I read articles about these kind of things, and they're just typos and spelling mistakes and doubled up words everywhere, and it infuriates me that no one is at least going back after they've released it and editing it, because
I concur.
Like there was an article that was talking about something Stan Lee said about racism back in 1968, and it was trying to quote Stan Lee's article, and it was all misspelled, and then you go to Stan Lee's thing and it's all none of it's misspelled, it's all well thought out, and it's just like you have his literal words there, and yet you're misspelling it. What the fuck?
They literally could have copy-pasted it.
Oh, the standards for journalism are so fucking low right now. And it infuriates me. Just get some editors. Fucking spell check. God damn it. It annoys me. Anyway, I'm done with that article. I've read what I need to know. Yeah, he does a lot of his own stunts. He's very much always been
renowned for it, you could say.
New film that's coming out, I think next week or the week after, American Made. He plays like a pilot, and he's like smuggling. It's kind of like about
he's doing a lot this
cocaine
year,
kind of thing, like a Pablo era kind of stuff. Yeah, he's doing a lot at the moment. Yeah, all the flying scenes in that he did himself. So like any scene you see him piloting, and it's like looking out on the side. I think him and the director, who was also director of Edge of Tomorrow, Doug Liman, they're both pilots. So there's a lot of shots of them in like a very small kind of cabin.
Why are all these celebrities pilots?
Man, when you got like pilots' licenses are expensive, so it's gonna be the people with money who are gonna do it. Especially when you're rich, and then you're working for like 6 months, and then you have 6 months off, and you're like, fuck, I'm bored. I want to fly.
I love how that's a thing that some people can just casually do.
And I mean, especially like Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford likes to get high, so in more ways than one. Yeah, but no, he's a pilot and another thing. But yeah, no, if I was
Harrison Ford might be getting a bit old to fly a plane.
No, he's fine.
Age limit on that shit.
No, he's fine. He's fine. I mean, he's crashed it a couple of times. That's just because he's always
Just casually crashed his plane a few times.
never killed himself, never killed anyone. He's fine.
It's like me saying, "Oh, I've crashed my car 5 times. No one has had though."
He's fine. And, I like the idea of Han Solo.
I just want to point out the long sip from my drink I took after that statement.
Anyway, that ain't none of my business.
But that's just me.
Righto, friend. Righto, Kermit. But I like the idea of Han Solo being an actual pilot. And I like the idea of Top Gun guy, whatever his name was in that Top Gun movie. I never saw it. I like the idea of him being an actual pilot. I like the idea of people who
Top Gun guy.
I like the idea of people who've done like skills in a film actually having those skills. Like you see like behind the scenes footage of like what's his name? John Wick, Neo, Keanu Reeves.
I'm not giving it to you.
Fuck you, buddy. Keanu Reeves, like you see like behind the scenes footage of him doing like all of his own stunts and all the shooting and stuff. So I don't know. I think it's cool when actors like actually go out and get like skills that will be pertinent to them further on in their career. And hey, he had got his pilot license. He can fly. It became useful. He's using it in this film, and it looks real. And I like shots that look, you should be trying to get everything you can in camera as much as you can until you can't, like until it's fantastical or too dangerous. Like if you're crashing a plane, sure, no one needs to be in that plane. That can be
CGI.
CGI.
Just taken a plane up in the air with a real pilot, switched out the real pilot, put him in the chair just for the shot. Because you don't have to be consistently doing stuff on a plane. Once you're in the air and you're going straight,
they were getting some kind of like swooping shots and stuff, so you could get crazier shots if the actor is actually a pilot. He can fly low to the ground. Yeah, but he can fly lower to the ground. He can do like loops and stuff. You can see that out the window. It's like I don't know. I don't know how to further sell to you that real stunts are better. I don't
know. I know. I like real stunts, but flying a plane to me is just like that could be done with a real pilot and look just as good, I think.
Look up the Mark Fennell interview with Tom Cruise, and it's got some like behind the scenes footage of American Made, and you look at those shots and you think that does look better than if it was just a green screen or if it was someone else doing it. Like they've got like Doug Liman sitting in the chair next to him. He's got a camera. He's filming him. Tom Cruise is flying the plane. Like because it's a small plane, you've got very small space in there to get a camera in plus a pilot. It's better if the actor is just the pilot. So.
I mean, you're not wrong, but at the same time, I feel like
I'll take it from there. That's no. That's where it ends. You're not wrong. End of sentence.
Okay, I'll let you fucking have it.
Let me have the truth. Thank you. Anyway,
partial truth.
Brett, you like Shazam, don't you?
Sure. Shazam!
Whoa, where'd Billy Batson go? It's Shazam. Yeah, there's another Captain Marvel movie coming out. Not called Captain Marvel anymore because Marvel decided, we will keep this. You can have your little Shazam word. Like, all right, fine. We'll have Shazam. Shazam is the next movie slated to be shooting after Aquaman for DC. We don't have I think we have a director. We have a writer. We don't know who Shazam is. We don't know who the villain is because apparently The Rock is not in this Shazam movie. Even though for the last 4 years we've been talking about The Rock as Black Adam. He's been cast before we even had a Batman. We had The Rock as Black Adam, but he's not going to be in the Shazam movie.
Oh well.
And it'd be like,
so
I don't know.
Do you think they're going to do Black Adam but cast someone else, or just hold Black Adam until they can get The Rock? What do you think? Because I don't know a lot about Shazam, but what I do know is Black Adam because he was in Injustice 2.
Yeah. So Shazam, he's basically like Superman except a kid. So it's Billy Batson. He's like 10 years old, and he got the powers of the wizard Shazam. And whenever he says Shazam, he basically becomes like a Superman type figure, but he also has like 4 lightning powers as well.
Fair enough.
So he's
Isn't
kind
it
of a
Flashpoint? He's 3 kids that turn into one guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah. In a Flashpoint, it's like 3 or 5 kids that turn into Shazam. But traditionally, it's one guy, Billy Batson.
Yeah.
If you want the kind of general gist of what his deal is, watch Justice League War.
Okay. That
He's-
animated movie?
Yeah, it's an animated movie. It's kind of like a.
Is it one of the ones on Netflix? Because Netflix have a lot
I
of the
think
Justice
it is
League
on
animated.
Netflix. I think it is on Netflix. I know they just recently got Justice League Dark, which is actually kind of good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
watched
it.
Justice League Dark when
Yeah.
it came out. It wasn't bad. It was fun.
Yeah.
Time.
So yeah, Justice League War. It's okay. Like
Though I
people
will
had their problems
say,
with it.
in Justice League Dark, I was promised more Swamp Thing than I got.
That's true. But the Swamp Thing you get,
It's good.
pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't know. I don't know any like particular Shazam, Captain Marvel centric stories. I've only known him as like a supporting character. And I like him as a supporting character because he comes in and he's like only adult superheroes. They know him as like Shazam when he's like all beefed up and looking like a Henry Cavill Superman. But inside, that's just a 10-year-old. So they're treating him as like, oh, Captain Marvel, you need to go and do this. And he's like, yeah, cool. Coolioso, Batman. That's the tits. Woo!
So he still has the brains and whatever.
Do you like
of a
fidget
10-year-old.
spinners? Pretty cool.
Look, I'm going to spin it with lightning.
Yeah, basically, he has a brain of a 10-year-old. So you could do some cool, fun things. I think it was a comedy, and they played into that. Like he is a 10-year-old in a giant The Rock-sized man's body. That could be fun. But
That could be fun.
yeah, I don't know what villain you get. I don't know what kind of tone you go for it. You could go for it kind of like a Spider-Man Homecoming meets.
I was just thinking a bit. It could go a bit Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, I would say somewhere between Spider-Man Homecoming and Man of Steel. You kind of mesh those two together, and you'd probably get.
That
a
sounds
good
like their deal.
Yeah, you'd get a
Does
good
sound like
Shazam
DC's
movie from there.
deal.
You have a little bit of high school stuff, a little bit of like, hey, or not high school, I guess middle school, whatever. However old they want to make him. I'd say go around.
Yeah.
Fuck, how old would you make Billy Batson? God damn. I feel like they might age him up. They might go like he's kind of 15 and get a Tom Holland 20 but looks 15 type.
Yeah.
Because if you want to get someone who could shoot long hours, but then
Yeah,
you also
and like
need
if they're still in school, you have a lot of loopholes you have to go
Yeah.
through. Like they have to have some sort of legal guardian there with them, and that for every like hour they're on set filming, they have to be in the freaking
Yeah.
trailer doing school stuff for an hour.
yeah,
So a
yeah,
lot of hoops they have to jump through.
yeah.
So it's easier to get a 20-year-old who looks 15.
Yeah. But then you also need like a 35-year-old who's like Henry Cavill looking. And I don't know who they get for that quite yet. Who's another Henry Cavill type in Hollywood that isn't already in a superhero movie?
Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah, because you can't really get
A lot of them already are.
yeah, like
I don't know, Vin Diesel?
he's already Groot. I don't think he wants
I think he could do Groot as well as something else. I think him going into a recording booth for one day and saying "I am Groot" 10 different ways. I don't think
he likes The Rock either, so I don't think he'd want to be in like a chance to have to co-star against The Rock.
don't know.
So they had
I just thought of a buff guy in Hollywood.
they had beef on Furious 7, so I don't know. I don't know who you'd get. And I don't think Shazam shouldn't look like Vin Diesel. I don't want to. Come here.
You asked me for a buff-looking guy in Hollywood. I gave you one. What
No,
can I
you
say?
did. You did.
I followed the instructions to the point.
Fair enough. You want to talk about some trailers?
Let's talk about the trailers.
Let's talk about some trailers.
I opened this Snapchat as received.
Molly's Game. Let's start there. So this is the new Aaron Sorkin film, directed and written by. We've got some Jessica Chastain, which is good. Got some Idris Elba, which is good. We've got other people,
Michael
which is
Cera,
good.
wasn't it?
Michael Cera, which is like a what?
Fine.
Yeah, but I guess he worked with Jesse Eisenberg for The Social
Yeah.
Networks, and now he's like,
I
well, I
feel
want to
like
work
he's
with the
got-
other Jesse Eisenberg,
feel
Michael
like-
Cera.
Yeah, I feel like Michael Cera might be at that point where he's like, yeah, I'm sick of playing comedy roles. I want a serious role.
He's been doing like a lot of smaller kind of indie kind of comedy serious things. So he's not like completely like I don't know where I'm going with that, out of the loop on like serious roles.
Yeah.
He does a lot of different projects. I was watching or some video where he's talking about some DVD picks, and he had some like real deep cut kind of like, oh, this like 70s film and this like kind of 90s
So I
black
feel
and white
like
thing,
we
so-
just think that he's this awkward nerdy kid just because that's all the characters we've seen.
No, he's
him.
like a full like art film
Yeah, he's
hipster
an
nerd
adult
kind of dude. Yeah.
with adult tastes.
Yeah, he is.
It
Like
makes it sound like he likes porn. He
No,
has
but, like-
adult taste.
like you think of Michael Cera and you're like, oh, he's probably sitting at home watching SpongeBob or something. It's like, no, he's watching 70s Italian art cinema.
yeah, exactly. He may look like a dweeby little kid, but he's not.
No, he's a man.
He's a man.
A man.
Yeah,
No, it looks good.
yeah,
I'm keen
It
for
looks
this.
like she's just some woman who opens a casino.
Yeah, I'm
Like
not
an illegal
entirely.
casino, and she said,
I
like,
think it's based somewhat on a true story.
yeah,
but
and I
I-
felt like the casino had like a $200,000 buy-in, so it's probably like pretty illegal. It seemed like there was some legal.
The trailer was a little incoherent, but I don't need the trailer to be coherent. I don't want to know
Yeah. So
what
you
the
got
story
some-
is.
You got
Yeah,
some ideas and some points of what it's going to be like. So yeah, it looks interesting.
I'm on
good.
board because the cast looks good. I'm always down for Aaron Sorkin. Did you see the film he did about Steve Jobs? I think it was just called Jobs.
No, I didn't, but I've been meaning to.
Real good, real good. It's kind of like a play. It's set in like 3 acts over like just before 3 different big tech conferences, and it's real good. Like Michael Fassbender, ooh,
I feel like the only
Real
one
good
of
in it.
those kind of movies I've seen is the Social
Seth
Network.
Rogen, real good in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Aaron Sorkin is like, he's always had this very unique style of the way he writes dialogue and the way he positions and like shoots it. He's very kind of like, he has a lot of control over all the things that he does. So you should check it out. You should definitely check it out.
I will.
Yeah.
I will.
No, this looks good. I'm keen to see it.
Now, next movie in the trailers, we have Mother.
Mother,
Exclamation
yes. It's another kind of prolific kind of director, Darren Aronofsky. We've got some Jennifer Lawrence, who apparently is dating Darren Aronofsky. Damn,
Good for her.
Good for her, I guess. You know,
She's a pretty lady.
She's
She's
a
a
pretty
lucky guy,
lady.
I guess.
he's an older man. Cool, whatever.
yeah, good for them. Now,
I'm sure they get along fine.
now this was another trailer that was a bit incoherent.
Bit
I
incoherent,
didn't-
a bit confusing.
I didn't
I
really
think
get
it's
any of
a
it.
horror movie, but I don't know how
The way
or
it was
why.
edited, it did kind of look like, because the whole trailer was kind of her slow motion walking out a door with a whole bunch of people talking and screaming.
Yeah,
the
but then
voiceover?
like it's also like it repeats itself. So I'm not sure if is she going through like a Groundhog Day kind of thing as well? Are we going through like an era where like horror movies are gonna Groundhog Day themselves? Because we've also got that other horror movie coming out. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's kind of like Groundhog Day meets Scream. So like it's this lady trying to like figure out how this person is killing her. She keeps like waking up and is like, all right, I know you're gonna be
Well,
here.
you know-
I just won't go there. And then he shows up again, and she's like, wakes up. It's like,
Well, you know,
fuck, he
you know
got
where
me.
I think that kind of horror has derived from?
Yeah.
Did you ever see like any playthroughs or whatever of PT?
Is that the cancelled?
Yeah, the playable
Kojima
teaser
thing? Yeah.
they released for Silent Hills.
Yeah. I
And
did
it
not
was-
play it. No.
Oh, well, I didn't play it, but I've seen playthroughs on YouTube, and if you haven't seen it, you should definitely watch it, because it is
Yeah.
fucking fantastic, and it's really disappointing that they didn't end up making the game.
Yeah.
And it's literally just, you're in a house, and it's just a hallway, and
Yeah.
it's like, you get to the end of it, and you open the door, and you're back at the start, and it's just you're continuously looping in this hallway, and all these fucking things keep happening, and through little things like a radio playing or a phone call or something, you keep learning about the story of what's happening. Then
Whoa.
eventually the bathroom doors open and like shit gets fucked up.
Whoa.
It's really interesting watch.
I
It's
might
about
look that up later.
It's about 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So, but it's, find a Let's Player who doesn't scream too much, I guess.
Yeah, there are a few ones out there that I go through when I actually just want to see the game and
Yeah.
not just
Well, this is
hear
one where
someone
you
go like, "Hey guys, welcome back to game. Scream, scream, scream."
And also find someone who's good at it, because it gets to
Yeah.
a point where it's ridiculously hard. Like I think one of the last puzzles, you have to do some ridiculous shit like that you couldn't do without looking it up. Like there was one point where you had to go to find this last puzzle piece type thing, you had to go into your menu, then you had to click on a certain thing and move a certain thing to another certain thing inside your menu, and then it would unlock something within the game. Yeah.
God damn it, Kojima. What?
Yeah, exactly. But no,
What's his new game coming out called?
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
Got
That's
Norman
the one of
Reedus, Guillermo del Toro,
Mads Mikkelsen.
I was about to say Mids Mikkelsen.
Mids Mikkelsen. Yeah, famous actor Mids Mikkelsen.
But
Mids Macklemore.
I feel like Death Stranding is what he did as a fuck you to Konami after they fired him.
Yeah,
that's pretty much why Silent Hill
the
got canceled.
dumbest thing they've ever done.
Is fire Kojima because he's like,
but
fuck you! I'll make my own studio. People love me.
But yeah, they like he was. It's good for him to like go off and do his own thing because like people were really just going to a Konami for like, hey, what's Kojima doing next? So it's good for him to go off and do his own thing because they've kind of like switched that to doing like pachinko machines in Japan, which is like,
what
the fuck are you doing? Why is that making more money? But like, okay,
yeah, I'm looking forward to Death Stranding because
it's obvious that they weren't interested in art or creating interesting experiences.
Yeah, see, and I feel like that's what Kojima wants to do. He's like, let's make something artful, and I feel like he's just like, let's make something that's insanely grotesque, fucked up.
Yeah. What's the
name
name
of
of
the
the
PT? It is grotesque and fucked up.
What's the name of the guy who does like Fallout? It's like Todd something. Anyway, yeah. Imagine if Bethesda like fired the Fallout guy and then just started making poker machines. So fucking weird.
Yeah.
So dumb. So anyway,
now, let's talk about a trailer that was quite piqued my interest.
Yeah, this one looks interesting. It's a lot of kind of adult dramas. I think we're heading into that season.
But this is like, it feels like a sci-fi type. It feels like a Black Mirror episode.
It does feel like a Black Mirror episode.
And it stars Peter Dinklage, and he looks great in it.
He looks so good.
Who else was in it? There was another big name. I can't remember though.
I saw Peter Dinklage and I was like, I'm in. Like, I don't need anything else.
I'm in.
Peter Dinklage actually getting a chance to act and not just being told to do something stupid because he's of shorter stature. He's playing a character, and him being a dwarf has nothing to do with it. Great. Yeah. Fucking sign me up.
I'm actually looking it up now because I know those.
But yeah, like
apparently Anton Yelchin is
yeah.
Did he pass away last year?
Yeah, I think this is his last film.
Oh, so wow. So they've been sitting on this footage for a while then.
Yeah, well, they must have been like, they had a release date and like, oh, we'll push it back a little bit. We'll place it here.
Oh, yeah, the other guy I knew in is Henry Ian Cusick, which I know him from The 100, so.
Oh, okay, well, I haven't
He's
watched
a TV
100,
actor.
So
TV
yeah,
actor.
well. No, this looks good. It's Peter Dinklage is playing a guy who's
a detective?
going... I'm not sure if he's a detective. He just seems to be going through the memories of this guy who invented this machine where you could collect your memories and watch them back again. And he's
Which is pretty much there's an exact Black Mirror episode about that.
And then he gets murdered, and so Peter Dinklage is trying to solve that guy's murder. And it looks interesting.
And it feels like as he's trying to discover the murder, he finds out it's a lot bigger than he first
Yeah, there's
thought.
a bigger conspiracy. Like, yeah, this feels like a Black Mirror episode, like an indie game. This looks interesting. Sorry, I've just got hiccups. It looks interesting. I'm real keen on it.
Yeah, and I think it didn't at the end. It said it was like a Google Play exclusive.
Yeah, that's weird.
I didn't know that was a thing.
No, I did not know they were doing any films or TV shows. Do you want to go into recommendations?
Okay, it will be released for a 2-week period exclusively on Google Play.
For free?
Yeah, be released for free for a 2-week period.
Oh, when's this?
24th of August. So that's soon.
Oh fuck, we need to get on that.
They're doing that thing that fucking Netflix do, where they're like, "Hey, here's the trailer for a movie, and it comes out in a week."
Oh Jesus! All right,
like that's like I did with Message from.
Fuck yeah, let's. I don't know. Find a way to download it or something. Let's watch it. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So that's like next week.
Fuck yeah, let's watch it.
Yeah, we're watching it.
Yeah. All right. Recommendations.
Recommendations.
What have you been up to?
I've been watching a bit of Community this week. I felt like rewatching it. It's a good time. I'll have a good laugh.
I started Matt O'Kine's Stan series. I watched the first episode.
Okay, is it good?
The other guys, yeah, it's good. It's not as joke packed as you would think, but it's real good. It's like one of the. I haven't watched a lot of Australian TV recently, but like This is real good. Like this is quality. The characters are interesting. They're well defined. There's a lot of like, if you know like people within like the comedy scene of Australia, there's a lot of familiar faces. I don't know the name of the person who plays like his housemate / best friend. I think she's an actress. I'm not sure she's a comedian, but she has great comedic timing, and she gets a lot of the laughs in the first episode. No, I'd recommend it. It's
How far
good.
into it are you?
I just watched the first episode,
Okay.
so but it's good.
Yeah,
I'm
give it a go.
enjoying it. Yeah,
You, me, and Isaac have all started watching Preacher together as well.
yeah, we're 2 episodes in.
And I don't know why. I think I remember hearing when it first came out that it was getting some bad reviews. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
I don't know why.
It might have just been because better things were out at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know why, because
I've enjoyed these first 2
I've
episodes
I've
immensely.
enjoyed the hell out of the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, some of it's
like-
confusing, but I've enjoyed
But I
it.
feel like it's confusing because it's meant to be confusing. At
Yeah,
points.
I'm
like
not-
it's going to unravel the story.
Yeah, I'm not confused that like, oh, they never got around to this. It's like, okay, you're laying down some pieces. I'm gonna get answers eventually. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
It's that kind of confused. The confused they want us to feel.
it's a good
Like,
confusion.
I very much like the theme because the editing style and a lot of the camera shots and really the way the dialogue is written, it's one of the most comic book feeling things out there.
Yeah,
I'd
it
say.
does feel a lot like an indie
I'd
comic.
say it feels
Yeah.
more like a comic book than like the Marvel movies. 'Cause they're-
No, I feel it feels more like an indie comic
Oh,
than
true.
the Marvel movies.
I
Like
guess
Marvel movies
I
definitely
guess
feel
it's just
like
because
Marvel
I've been
comics.
reading
Yeah.
Why the
Last Man? Yeah.
I've been reading that lately, so it's
No,
very
it
much-
definitely feels a lot like in that same kind of vein of like a creator-owned property indie comic thing. It
Yeah.
definitely has that feel.
And I love the theme and like there's a lot of oranges in the color palette, which really
Yeah.
worked for the setting there.
Well, it's Texas. You gotta feel hot. Yeah.
Orange, reds.
Yeah.
That's how you do Texas, orange and red.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no, and I feel like I really like the writing of the script,
Mm.
and just
It's a good time.
yeah, and it's very bloody,
Oh yeah.
violent. It's good.
Yeah, so that's it for this week. If you want to contact us, we're on Facebook, facebook.com/PCMR Podcast. We're on Twitter @PCMR Podcast. We also have our own personal Twitter accounts. I'm at Aiden's Vlog, AIDANSVLOG.
I'm at meman125, spelled how it sounds.
We also have an email account, PCMRpodcast@gmail.com. We have a website, PCMRpodcast.net. We're on YouTube. We're on iTunes. You can go subscribe to us there.
See
Give us
new
a 5
episodes when they
stars.
come
Really
out.
helps us
Woo.
out on iTunes. Next week, we'll be talking about Defenders.
Which we're going to watch straight
We're going
after
to go
this.
and watch the first episode right now.
Yeah.
So,
Probably the only one I'll fit in before I want to watch the football because I'm a man.
yeah, man. Man.
I don't know why I
Man,
feel like
man,
saying that
man.
every time I tell you I'm going to watch the football because I just know it's what you're thinking.
No, I'm just thinking, cool.
Cool.
All right. See you next week. Bye.
Boy.